الآن مع كلمة رئيسية حول البيئة الحاضنة للدفع والتجارة تجربة Paytm مع أنجاد دهندسة نائب الرئيس للأعمال في Paytm.
Hello. Hi, everyone. My name is Angad, Dhindsa. I work for Paytm, and it's good to be here. I will be talking about payments and commerce ecosystems, and I'll basically be talking a lot about the Paytm experience in payments and commerce ecosystems. I'll first focus on how the Paytm ecosystem came about, and then we'll talk about how it's leveraged today. I'll try and cram that all up in 20 minutes, so get started. So just to quickly give an overview, what is Paytm? Paytm is one of the largest internet commerce companies in India. We have a huge user base. We have 285 million registered users on Paytm, 60 million unique visitors every month, and approximately 3 billion transactions that happen every year. And there's also a huge merchant base, which is like 5 million plus merchants that are there, of which 5 million are literally unorganized merchants, and you have 100,000 organized merchants and 15,000 digital merchants that are there on the platform. It is an ecosystem. The base that powers this ecosystem is payments. It started as a payments company. What you can do with Paytm is basically you can make payments. You can get your mobile recharge done. You can get your, you can pay for your television. You can pay for internet. You can pay offline merchants. You can pay online merchants. You can do peer-to-peer transfers, and now we have a payments bank license that's there. On the other hand, there's commerce, digital commerce, which is you can pay for movies, travel, tickets, hotel bookings. There is an entire marketplace, which works like, say, an Amazon or a Flipkart or a Tmall. And the third leg of this ecosystem is financial services, where you have digital gold, loans, wealth management, insurance, etc. So I'm just quickly going to get into how it started. It all started with mobile recharge. So like everywhere in the world, there's obviously been a huge boom in mobile phones. In India, the same thing. 90% of the market is prepaid, where people are basically prepaying, getting their, they're filling up, paying their mobile bills in a prepaid fashion. And this was quite a cumbersome process. To start with, you had to go somewhere, stand in line, get this prepayment done. So obviously, our co-founders saw a huge opportunity here, and they launched a platform where you could pay your mobile recharge bills. It did really well. So we ended up moving to television. We ended up moving to telephones, etc. You could pay your telephone, internet bills. Then at some point in time, we realized, hey, why don't we have a wallet? The wallet will allow, it'll just make things so much simpler. You know, you just put your money in the wallet, and with one click, you can pay any of the bills. That did really well. And the other thing that we started was we said, hey, no discounts, only cashbacks. So what's going to happen is if you make a payment for something, the money comes back to the wallet, and then you spend it on other things. Then we went into digital. The next step was obviously moving into digital or physical goods commerce. And we launched bus tickets. And that did really well. Within no time, Paytm became the second largest platform for bus ticketing. And after that, I guess we just opened up the floodgates, and we did utility payments, digital third-party payments, peer-to-peer payments, flights, trains, movies, events, etc. Tickets were introduced, and the physical goods marketplace was launched. Finally, now we have, from the Central Bank of India, there's a license for payments banking, which has come. And on top of all this, the financial services are being launched. Now, why am I talking about all this? I think what I really want to talk about is there is a specific role that each of these businesses played in forming this ecosystem. So when we talk about mobile recharge, this was a really important component of the business. This was basically driving your customer acquisition. It was, A, obviously, as I mentioned, recharge was cumbersome. But B, it was a very small ticket size. It was very easy for people to trust the platform. It was less than $2. And the other thing that worked really well with mobile recharge was you come and you do your recharge at least twice a month. So people who were recharging were getting familiar with the platform. Same thing that started happening with TV, net, phone, utility bill payments. You do them on and on and again. So this drives engagement, and people get comfortable with the platform. So payments was essentially the acquisition category here, and it got people really comfortable with the platform. The wallet came next. The wallet was basically, it's like a spoke in a hub and spoke model that held everything together. So if you're making a transaction, the money came back into the wallet in form of cashbacks, and then you could spend it on any other thing, any of the other businesses that are there. So digital goods and physical goods that are there were more or less, these form the engine of the entire ecosystem, because once you started getting the money in your wallet, now you had so many use cases. You could spend it on anything. And again, you got cashbacks. It again got your wallet filled up, and again, you were spending it on various things. And finally, you had the bank that is supporting the wallet and strengthening the wallet, and financial services, which essentially basically strengthens, it's like fueling the engine. Because now you're giving loans to merchants, you're giving loans to consumers, you're providing insurance services, and this entire ecosystem is continuing. Today, so now the ecosystem has reached a certain critical mass, and there are a lot of benefits that you're reaping out of this ecosystem. So I mean, there are tons of them. I'm just going to be focusing on 5, given the time that we have here. One of the most important, and these 5 will be customer acquisition, merchant acquisition, loyalty, data, and launching new products. So Paytm Mall was launched in 2014. And within the next 3 years, this grew up to be the 3rd largest physical goods marketplace in India. And we have a lot of other players there. There's Amazon, there's Flipkart, Snapdeal, etc., who spent hundreds of millions of dollars in building up their brand, doing customer acquisition. Paytm Mall did not do a single above-the-line advertisement. Why? Because we had that entire 285 million people to go after first. We didn't have to do that. So the entire customer acquisition was focused on the Paytm ecosystem. Similarly, when we launched movies, movie ticketing platform, there was no above-the-line advertisements. It was basically focused on leveraging the user base that we already had. Same thing for travel. I'm going to sidetrack a bit because there's an interesting phenomenon that we saw in customer acquisition. So recharge, as I mentioned, was the main acquisition category. Other payments businesses were acquiring people from recharge. Digital goods commerce was acquiring people from recharge, and so was physical goods commerce. However, when we started looking at how people are moving between businesses, people are moving from payments into digital goods and from digital goods into physical goods. It's actually pretty similar to the discussion that was happening some time ago. When you look at these 3 businesses, there are different consumption and fulfillment cycles in each of these businesses. Payments, the moment I make a payment, the fulfillment happens there and then, and the consumption happens there and then. I just paid my bill. I know I got a confirmation from the telecom company saying your bill is paid. Digital goods, on the other hand, I pay my bill, I get my ticket. So the fulfillment is happening there and then, yet the consumption is going to happen later. Whereas in physical goods, I made the payment, hopefully the stuff will come in 7 days' time, and then God knows when I'm going to consume it, and it's going to be the right thing. So there is a certain amount of trust that you need. As in each of these things, it's the 2 ends of the spectrum. Physical goods, you need a lot more trust in the system in order to actually start transacting there, whereas payments, it's lesser. And we also have to keep in mind that the huge number of people that we onboarded, a lot of them were coming and getting introduced to digital commerce for the first time. So it was much easier for them to put in a very small amount, less than $2, start with payments, then move on to digital goods, and finally adopt physical goods. As I mentioned, we have a huge merchant ecosystem. The ecosystem helped acquire merchants for various businesses that were there. For instance, I talked about how we launched Paytm Mall, which is the physical goods marketplace. And again, Paytm Mall couldn't have become like the 3rd largest player and a significant player in India if it wasn't for the merchant base. And we obviously went back to our payments team, and we leveraged every single network that they had, every single contact that they have in building and acquiring merchants here. And the same thing was done by other digital goods player, whether it was the travel industry or the movie segment. Third, loyalty. Loyalty becomes a lot easier when you have a whole lot of businesses, right? Because it kind of becomes a one-stop shop. Come, work, be a part of this ecosystem, and you can buy everything and anything here. What really worked for us was the wallet. It was simple because people were transacting via the wallet, they were getting their cashbacks into the wallet, and they were again spending from the wallet. This drove serious loyalty for us. With the number of use cases that you have, whether you're buying a tennis racket in the mall, or you're making your Uber payments, or you're paying for something else, you could do that in the platform using that single wallet. That worked really well for us in driving loyalty. Then data, obviously, and a lot of people have talked about data today. When you're an ecosystem, you have a lot of data. You have your consumer level data, where you know exactly what people are buying. You know what they're purchasing because you have your payments data. You know what they're purchasing on your platform. You have their purchase behavior data, how much time they're spending browsing wherever they're browsing, what are they looking at, and finally what they're buying. You can segment them looking at what are their preferences. Are you a mass? Do you buy more mass products? You buy bridge to luxury products? You buy luxury products? At the same time, you have a lot of merchant data also. You have the business health metrics of the merchants, whether what kind of sales is this guy doing month on month, what kind of inventories does he have, performance metrics, product quality, how the consumer is reacting to his products, is he able to fulfill the orders in the right amount of time, and obviously you get to know about their target audience. The entire ad tech platform will be built on that. And using this data, you can do a whole bunch of things. Again, you can acquire more customers, you can target them better, you can look at cross-category offers. If I don't want to give a discount on a certain thing, can you buy a sweater or a jacket off my platform and I can give you a movie ticket free? Cross-selling, if you're buying a ticket to, say, a beach destination, can I offer you a sunscreen? Advertising the ad tech platform and various financial services. Finally, it's new products. Everything that I've talked about, whether it's customer acquisition, merchant acquisition, loyalty, data, it all helps you launch new products, whether it's insurance products, credit, lead generation, etc. So it's all, the ecosystem is helping all this being powered. So where do we go from here? I mean, what is next? And just to give you an insight into what can be done, so imagine a world where the customer is in the offline world. He enters a shop. The cart that he picks up is a smart cart. It can figure out where all he's walking through the aisles. He goes to a certain aisle. He picks up a certain product. They have RFID tags, so you know exactly what products, which areas he's browsed, what products he's picked up and added to cart. He goes to a trial room, and you can figure out what products he's trying on because again the RFID tags are talking to the trial room. And eventually he makes a payment using the wallet. And at the back you have that entire data about this customer, about everything that he's bought, everything that he's browsed from your wallet. So what you've basically done is you've taken his offline customer behavior and you married it to the online customer, online customer data. Which can, again, it can be really rich data that can allow you to target him in so many different ways. And this is not something that's a distant future because this is actually going on. I didn't mention this earlier, but Paytm Mall is majority held by Alibaba, and these are the kind of things that are going on in China. These are the kind of experiments, and many of these are live examples that are going on in Hangzhou and Shanghai and places like those. So I guess it's just limitation of the mind, how and what you can do with it. And because of that, there are a whole bunch of companies in India which are now launching a wallet. They're trying to make they're trying to get commerce and payments together. Reliance Industries is one of the largest companies in India, huge petrochemical businesses. They have their largest retailers also. They've recently acquired a payments banking license. Flipkart, another large e-commerce company, has launched PhonePe. Amazon has launched Amazon Pay. Google has launched Tez, which is a wallet. Tez has only been launched in India. You have WhatsApp that might be launching a wallet in India. So everyone under the sun is doing this. So I guess it's game on. It's good to be in a good spot where Paytm is right now, and that's it. That's it from me. Thank you. Any questions? How are we on time? We're good on time right now? Wow, no questions. Oh, there's one.
Guys, one of the things in India, I'm just wondering, guys, with the KYC process and trying to take the customers alive to onboard them on the wallet, do you guys face any challenge with the KYC process for consumer side?
So, sorry,
So-
KYC?
KYC,
Yeah.
which means know your customers
So
process.
So KYC is obviously a challenging thing because it is a time-consuming process, but there are ways that you're trying to work with the government and figure out ways that how can KYC be made easier. There is a process called eKYC, where you can upload your Aadhaar card and you can upload data about it. So there are ways that you need to try and solve it through tech, but it is a long-drawn process and it's a requirement. And so that is a bottleneck.
And getting the license for the banking license, guys, will that open a door for you guys to be away from the banks and trying to compete with the banks with loan and with the micro loans and with the small product?
So it's a payments bank license. It's not a full-fledged bank license. So it allows you to do certain things. You can open savings accounts. You can do a bunch of things, but it's not a full-fledged bank. And I don't think that's where we're looking to go.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you.